Hi again, everyone. It's Cameron. So the last part of our webinar, I will briefly go over what these ASLA local clubs that I talked about at the beginning. So this is probably new for most of you. What is ASLA? So ASLA stands for the Academic Support and Local Alliance. These are actually clubs that we're starting to form across the country. We do have a couple right now in a few locations. That's why we're going to be doing our Portland, Oregon campus. We have one that's actually starting there. So how might we do it for other areas, you may ask? We can take a look. But first, what would you actually do in a ASLA local club? So right now we're focusing on what we are good at, our mathematics. So with that, it's more advanced mathematics. What we're actually taking is from, you had heard from John earlier speak about our courses. You may have mentioned, you heard about the self-paced courses. We actually will be using the self-paced courses in these local clubs, meaning that you would be able to get together with different students, their own age and own level. You would then be able to take our self-paced courses, and from there you can actually learn on your own. So it is, as I mentioned, an informal setting outside of school. So that's why we call it a club. It's something that students can get together and have a good time. These are students, obviously, that really enjoy advanced mathematics, and we're giving them another way to not only see what we have to offer, but also another outlet. As you saw, we have many outlets, including our classes and camps, but we are now starting to form these clubs as a supplemental thing. What these will include is we will be actually able to communicate with these parents and families who are interested in this. This can entail meetings in your area. So it could be in Portland, Oregon. It could be in Dallas, Texas, East Coast. These, like I said, are off-site of our location where we're located in Irvine, California. But we still will be able to keep in contact with you. These meetings, we will help to talk with you about and see how you want to formulate them, whether it includes doing class lectures together, as well as just informal discussions with the students. These also further for the students that are interested in math competitions, not only just with improving their math skills in general in school. It will help the students to be far more prepared for doing math competitions. Why? One, they're taking our classes with us. That is an online setting. Two, they're actually doing it in person with other students. So as John mentioned with our camps, it gives more of a social aspect of doing something like a math program too, and eventually attend programs with us. So the idea is that eventually when you form a local club, if you're able to get enough students there, we may perhaps do a camp program in your area. We may consider doing a spring break, winter break, or even one of our large-scale summer camps in your location. So how can you create an ASLA club? This is obviously on the part of you as the families. We only are here to help actually do the formulation of it from the beginning, but this is something you would have to do at your end. So you may already have a network of families already with students who are interested in math. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of our webinar, many of the families in our time period now feel that the math classes are not sufficient to meet their students' needs. Students feel that they need to take more of an advanced class beyond what normal students are taking too, whether it's even doing a class 1 or 2 years ahead. So with this in mind, we hope that you would be able to get together enough families with other like-minded students and start to create a club. We say that for right now, to start an ASLA club, you need to start with at least 5 students. That will at least give enough students to actually communicate with, and then if it grows from there. In terms of with the families, we do have something where people can create a coordinator. So what does this mean? That means among the families, you need to select one parent coordinator. They will be the one to do many of the functions in the club. Basically, they act as a supervisor to the students in the club. So it'd be someone that you know among the parents. This person will be the one to mainly conduct the meetings in the ASLA local clubs. they'll be the ones to help schedule when and where you will meet. So obviously this is a parent that needs to dedicate some extra time outside their usual, work, and also whatever other activities, after school activities students are coordinating. This essentially, the As a Local Club is another after school activity. So this parent will be the one to decide upon a location. It could be in a local learning center, it could be in someone else's home, anywhere that you feel comfortable to do it in. So this parent will be the one to decide on dates and times, talking with the families, and thus be the main contact with our staff at Areteem Institute. So with that, when I say about like this on the next part, decide on location to host student meetings and lectures and discussions, the parent will be able to talk with our staff. Once, for instance, you have found your 5 or more students and have said, okay, I want to form a local club, then you need to contact us. And then from there, we'll be able to talk with you, just like we do with our classes, to decide the levels of your students and be able to create a overall picture, plan of action for your club. So that's when we'll be able to know where you're going to be holding it, the location that you'll be doing the club. And it can change. Obviously, it depends on how the families feel that they want to host the club at. You can then decide at your discretion how you want to deal with the classes. You would be, like I said, be enrolled in a self-paced year packet, which could be over 3 or 4 of our self-paced courses that you would be doing over a few months. We can help you decide the pace of how the class will go with you. So you can actually choose a couple of different options. One is you can actually all together sit down and do the hour-and-a-half class, maybe once a week or twice a month. Then you would have a little discussion section. You could also do it where all of the students in the As a Local Club are taking the class at home by themselves, but they meet up in the club to discuss homework and the assignments. We also will do ongoing training too at our end to make sure that the parents are keeping up to date. We're keeping up to date on what's going on. If you have questions for our faculty, we are here to serve you and make sure that your club is running well. So, and let's see what that looks like a little bit. So first I'm going to go like the benefits of an ASLA local club. So one thing is, as John mentioned with our faculty, we have our well-known faculty of master's and PhD instructors who can actually help you to do better in the classes, and we do have an in-house developed curriculum with our years of experience. So some of the features would be, one, is that the class is taught by the instructors in the self-paced classes. One difference, though, between the self-paced classes that we offer and the self-paced classes as an ASLA club member, you will get homework feedback. Normally in our self-paced classes, students have a contact that John had mentioned, whether it's him as the curriculum director or one of the instructors, to help with homework. But with this, there's usually no feedback given in a self-paced class. As an ASLA club member, you would actually get feedback from our faculty, whether it is the actual instructor who originally taught the course, or John as the curriculum director, who can actually help the students to make sure that they're understanding the material. Another feature that we actually have with our classes already set up is our online forum. This is brand new to our students, where they can actually go on this forum on our classroom management site that John had mentioned and be able to ask questions. So sort of like the chat feature that we have right now in the class, students can just enter into this forum and ask any questions they want, and they will be able to have someone in our faculty and staff to actually help answer their questions. This is some feature that we've actually been looking to for many years, and we're thankful to actually have developed that right now for our classes. Continually, there will be parent training, meaning that when you first form a club and we know what level and what self-paced class you're going to be taking, we will have an introductory meeting with you, kind of like right now in this setting on WizIQ. You will have an online webinar where you can actually stream live, as we're doing right now, and talk with us to see what you need in creating the club. We will also continue these two. With the parent coordinator, we can schedule periodic, whether it's twice a month, once a month, or a couple months down the road, be able to talk with our faculty and staff. And this is where we just basically, as a staff, talk with the parents to get some feedback, give advice. We'd love to hear your ideas as a parent coordinator. As I said, this is a very new type of feature of doing an ASLA club, so we want to make sure that we are there to support you. Other benefits, obviously, as I mentioned, that students get to be with their peers who have similar interests and enjoy mathematics. Later on, if there's enough students, they can host their own tournaments. One thing that the parent coordinator could talk about with the other families is creating an event that's near them, where we're not there yet, but you can actually create it with your families. And as I mentioned, later on, if we get enough interest, we may even have several ASLA clubs in one city or one area. If that happens and we have enough people that really want us to physically be there, we can host a local camp with the club or many of the clubs together. Actually, that would be interesting too, because like as Dr. Wong mentioned, we have our on-site competitions. We can even do a big competition near you with enough local clubs. So that's a little bit about exactly why you would want to do an ASLA club. To give a better idea, here is a sample outline of a group of students. This isn't a group of students we have already. This is a sample of what could happen. So let's just say we have a parent from Northern California in the Bay Area, outside San Jose, California. The parent has a group of 5 students. They are all good friends. They go to the same school. And they are all want to do the AMC 12 competition. So let's just say these group of students are juniors, 11th graders in high school. So we have the parent coordinator contacts us, lets us know, I have 5 grade 11th graders. We want to create a local San Jose ASLA club. So what does that mean for us? So that means we'll have the preliminary webinar talk, and then we will specifically help to make sure that the class that you take will help them to do better in, let's say they just formed the club in a month's time. We hear from this family. We will make sure that by February 2017 next year, that they will be fully prepared to do the AMC 12 competition. Now, in terms of the classes, that's specifically going to be for our Math Challenge 2B self-paced year packet. One thing that I forgot to mention, doing an ASLA group together with 5 or more students, we do offer a group discount where students can actually get a little bit more off to enroll in that class. So after that, we will set up the initial meeting and we'll decide on the pace of the club. Let's just say, like, for instance, that you're doing it in late September. We are doing this conversation. And your first meeting is in October. We'll make sure that we'll obviously talk with you. We'll know how many times you're meeting. Hypothetically, let's say that you have decided with this group of students you will meet twice a month, 2 Saturdays each month from October, November, December, January. So at least you'll have 4 months to help prepare for the classes. Now in a self-paced year packet, we usually have 4 courses covering the subjects that you've heard about before, including number theory, combinatorics, geometry, and algebra concepts. We'll make sure maybe the students need more help in geometry and combinatorics. We can then make sure that you guys are paced enough so you will do the class for combinatorics and geometry up until that point in time. Someone just actually asked a question, is the homework online or in paper? How's the homework graded by faculty or papers? Okay, so as John mentioned, we do have our class management website, so all the homework will be done online. Students actually can print out the homework at their end, same thing with our online courses, and do it on their own, and then they can actually, with their parents' help, scan and email it back to the classroom management website. That's how we can actually grade the homework that way. Everything is all concentrated on the classroom management website. To answer the second question, homework will be graded by faculty or parents. Since we're working with you, we as the faculty would be able to grade it for you. If parents want to start grading it on their own, they feel free, they can do that, but as I mentioned, as part of the ASLA Club member, we'll be able to actually help grade it for you. So from there, we'll regularly meet the students with the parent coordinator, and the families will decide when they will regularly meet to discuss the lectures and homework. Like I said, let's just say they set it up where the students do it on their own. and then they, from there, will meet at the ASLA Club for an hour and a half, twice a month on Saturdays, and they'll just basically discuss the homework from there. Then from there, the parent will be able to speak with us to schedule a maybe once a month webinar to get feedback on how the students are doing. Let's see, I got a couple of questions before I go into anything else. Let's see, Audrey asked, let's see. Well, I'll answer a few questions at the end because we are running a little bit over time, so I will address those couple questions in just a bit. So just sit tight. Just to show you where exactly do you find information about the ASLA local clubs, you will see that under courses, where you will find live and self-paced courses, there is a drop-down menu that will indicate the local clubs. You can also find it here. It appears on this side. Most of the information that I talked about is here, but it is a little bit more formulated here, so you can actually read it. And we did give the example of the AMC 12 students who wanted to participate in that. So that's a little bit about the ASLA clubs, and I mentioned I will get to the questions at the very end because I do have a few people asking questions. So how can you more connect with us? Obviously, beyond looking at our website, we also are involved in social media. We try to keep up to date with posting different pictures and information and news about us. One of the main features that maybe a lot of you found out about us is through WeChat, which we're very active in through several groups, actually, with answering your questions. For other content, we do also not only encourage the parents, but we also encourage the students. We love to hear students, to hear what they say and what they feel about the classes. So below the classes and Areteem section of our website, as you can see here, these are all our different social media links that we are involved in. Below, you'll be able to see 4. So we're pretty active on, this page is for Facebook and Twitter. For professional development, we also have a LinkedIn page. And for, I know a lot of students like to use social media like Instagram. We also have our own Instagram page where students actually upload their pictures. Some of these recent ones are taken from the summer camp. But we are pretty active in these, but this is where you can find our social media. So this is one side. As I mentioned, we also have WeChat, but we do like to also hear from everybody too. We also encourage reviews. We also love to hear back and see. Obviously, we have people emailing or calling us saying, oh, I really liked your program. You know, it was fun. My child came back from the summer camp and really learned a lot. We want you to take the next step and actually put it in a review. We actually do have reviews on Google as well as our Facebook page. So eventually we'll have a little bit more to say about that, but we'd love to hear that you enjoyed our programs. And you know, it's good to keep up business that way in hearing back with reviews. One thing that I mentioned earlier in the webinar is we actually have a blog. This is where you can find all of our educational resources. Our blog is located here below the social media icons and next to special programs. On our blog, we have different sets of information listed where it would be very helpful to take a look at. We have several categories listed. Some of these include information to help students in college admissions. In some of these, I've actually been writing these myself too. We include information on how to write the personal statement, which is something I know 11th and 12th graders especially need to know, how to write a personal statement for getting into the college of their choice. Under a section called Career Advancements, we talk about different types of careers. Right now we have different listings about some ideas of science, more STEM-related careers. A second section is events. The events page is where we talk about all the events that are happening at us. So we do blogs on our camp programs. Sometimes we also talk about a feature about our students. So maybe one of your children might be featured on our blog telling about all of their programs and what school they're getting into or what math competitions they are competing in. There actually is a math and science competition section on the website where we give opportunities for students to learn about the competitions in the area. I mentioned about our outreach events. Some of those have been math and science competitions. We blog about them too. So there are several features of the blog site that you can take a look at and read. As you can see, there's plenty of you to read on our website. Just to go back for a bit to review, we have everything. If you want to learn about under our About page, we have a video gallery so you can see sample videos of our classes. We also have a faculty page, so if you want to learn more about John or Dr. Wong and our other instructors, then you can learn there. Our courses section talks about all of our self-paced and live courses. The camps, we basically right now have information about our past summer camps and our upcoming winter camp, the Zoomo competitions that Dr. Wong mentioned, the bookstores, the curriculum books, special programs like our outreach events, and the blog. So, just if you wanted to even get further information because you really like us, this is a QR code here that if you have the feature on your smartphone, you can actually use to a little bit more information about us. We also have the address. This is our physical headquarters in Irvine, California. This is our main office number, 949-305-1705. And do note that if you were to call that number, most likely you'd be talking with me, the Student Service Director. So I'd be happy to talk with you more about our programs. For our WeChat users, one of the WeChat IDs that we use is Rosemother. So if you're not on a WeChat group, definitely go on to Rosemother and find we have a plethora of groups on various different subjects. To reiterate about our website, it's areteem.org. That is our main website, and the one that Dr. Wong mentioned was zimmel.areteem.org. That is for our math competitions.